Hello and welcome back to New Writing Knows Writing from Home series. I'm Sarah and I'm the group leader at Amber Young Writers. As we near the end of our Writing from Home series, I'm going to talk to you about editing. Now, editing gets a bad rap. Many writers actively avoid it, agonise over it, or just hate it. But I'm here to tell you that it's not that bad. Yes, it will get messy and it should be messy, but it's also where the magic happens. So, take out your work in progress and let's go through seven simple steps to help you get started. Step number 1 is structure. Ask yourself if your story has a clear structure. In its simplest form, all this means is, does your story have a clear beginning, middle and end? Your beginning should start as late as possible into the story, and you should be quick to establish the scene, create conflict or generate a mystery. Essentially, you need to show us what happens that sets the rest of the story into motion. Not long after starting your story, you also need to introduce us to the problem. What is your main character's problem? In the middle of your story, that problem needs to get worse and then worse again, before finally the problem is resolved at the end of your story. So take a few minutes now to map out your story's arc. You might want to draw a story mountain, or you might just want to list what happens. But ask yourself if you have a clear structure that shows rising and falling action as your story begins, reaches its climax, and then is resolved. Step number 2 is characters. Start by making a list of your characters' wants, needs, and motives. Then reread your work to see if they're clear, because these are the things that are going to propel your character through the story. Additionally, character arcs map out the evolution of your protagonist. Your main character will find that their strengths and weaknesses are tested over the course of the story, so that by the end of the story they will have changed. Usually character arcs deal with internal personal changes. Whilst these changes might not be monumental, they will have made a significant impact on your character. So now write down your character's strengths and weaknesses and map out your character's arcs. How have their strengths and weaknesses been tested, and how have they changed from the start of your story to the end? What have they learned? Step number 3 is themes. Themes are not what happens in your story, but what your story is actually about. For example, Harry Potter is about a wizard that needs to defeat the Dark Lord, but its themes are love, friendship, and family. So take a moment now to write down a list of 2 or 3 themes you're exploring in your writing, and then have a think about how you're exploring those themes. And are there any other ways you can explore those themes and weave them through all of your writing so that they're fully explored? For example, love is a big theme in Harry Potter. We see that he is living with his aunt and uncle and cousin, and they show him little, if any, love. And this is in great contrast to the love we see his parents give him before they die. Harry's parents' love saves him from Voldemort in that initial attack. His mother's love in particular formed a protection. Love is what allowed Harry to live. Ultimately, love is the biggest difference between Harry and Voldemort, and it's the reason why good will always conquer evil. Now, this is just the tip of the iceberg of the theme of love in Harry Potter, but it's a good example of how you can explore one theme in lots of different ways and how it can affect your characters. Step number 4, show, don't tell. I'm sure you've heard this one a million times before. You should show your reader the world they're in rather than tell them about it. You can show your reader by including smells, colours, tastes and textures that let them imagine they're really there. Use strong verbs and specific, significant details to draw them in. So go through your writing and underline any on-the-body details. Have you included colours, tastes, smells, textures? If not, go back through and find places where you can include them, because that will help your reader enter the world in your story. Step number 5, cut, cut, cut. Start by looking at the bigger picture. Can you cut big chunks of text from your work? Those extra 400 words that over explain the ending. That first paragraph that sets the scene with too much detail but not enough action. Take your pen and cross them out. Then take a look at each paragraph out of context. A good way to do this is to cut out your paragraphs and mix them up. Reading out of context helps your brain disassociate and lets you see them for their parts rather than part of a whole. Assess each paragraph. What is its purpose, and is it serving that purpose? Is it propelling your story forward? Is it vital to the story? If it's not, you need to cut it. Then finally, look at each sentence and each word. Cut any words you can. A fun way to do this is by imagining you have to pay 20 pence for every word you've written. Is that word worth 20 pence? Is that long, beautifully written but ultimately useless sentence worth £3.20? This might be the hardest part. There will be lines that you absolutely love, but that you need to let go. Step 6. Submerge the I and character names. If you're writing in first person, go through your work and highlight all of the I's. If you're writing in third person, go through your work and highlight every time your character's name is used. First drafts tend to be littered with I's or character names, and it can be very distracting for the reader because it removes them from experiencing your story. Obviously, you will need to use these words sometimes to keep your writing clear, but more often than not, you can change and manipulate your sentences so that you don't need to use as many of them. So go back through what you've highlighted. How many I's or characters' names do you need, and how many can you submerge? Step 7. Read your work aloud. Now try recording yourself reading your work. Is it smooth to read? Flow and rhythm are important in the way that your reader will understand and process your language. Listen to your reading back. Do any bits not sound quite right? Do you stumble? If so, go back and edit these parts. So there you go, just a few quick simple steps to help you get started editing your work in progress. Of course, there are many other ways you can edit and improve your work, and I encourage you to leave some of the ways you like to edit in the comment section below because they might help other young writers. But hopefully this video has been useful in getting you started thinking a little bit more in depth about your work and how you can edit it to make it the best it can be. Happy editing! Bye bye!